against each other. In those cases, they elected to compete against each other. So, Pato and Meyham, who you can see right here in the white, gonna set that little team affiliation aside for 10 minutes or so, and they're gonna put it all on the line in search of that gold medal.
Number 1, the adult male Pato light featherweight final, representing Dream Art, Meyham. Representing Dream Art, Diogo Batista.
All right, here we go. Diogo Batista, otherwise known as Pato, in the blue. Meyham in the white. Yeah, we have a couple Dream Art on Dream Art finals, including Nicholas Margali and Eric Muniz again later in the open class. Double guard pull here, resulting in an advantage for Meyham for coming up on top. No surprise. And Diego right into his lasso here on the left side, but this Meyham's right hand was on the outside of the hamstring, able to clear that lasso, and now Pato able to elevate that left leg onto the shoulder. Right into the closed guard here. Quick look at potentially a footlock there from Meyham, but the lasso of Pato back in. He does such a good job at using the lasso and lapel the way he's doing right now with his right hand, has the lapel wrapped around his leg to minimize the movement of his partner. Meyham is a very explosive passer. We've already been seeing some of that. So if we can afford to slow somebody like that down for a moment, we can start to open up new attacks and start to get some of our offense going rather than being on the defense if we're playing guard.
Pato immediately looking for this rather unique kind of upside down lapel grip. It's almost going in underneath the legs. Something of a more traditional position in that sense, but the way that he was going all the way underneath Meyham's high stance, almost like he's just going to go straight out to the back.
Yeah, it was interesting. Meyham tried to extract his foot, kind of step it up and over, got stuck in a gi inside the lapel. So we're still here with Pato on bottom. It'll be interesting to see if he elects to try to come up for the sweep and solidify the 2 and then undo this 5th-year lapel and start to pass, or if he's going to be insistent on looking for the back. A lot of times people with great ground below games, great back takes, they won't even come up for the 2. They only want one thing, and that is to chase the back position. But I don't think that that is the case here for Pato. He's now coming in, looks like he's going in on a foot lock. He has the grip in with his right hand, but doesn't have too much extension just yet. Has the lapel wrapped up in there as well. Now we can see some extension here. He has to be careful not to turn to his left and go belly down unless that action is created by Meyham.
Yeah, that is the rule here, and this catches so many people out. I even see black belts sometimes get caught out by this, but that straight ankle lock is legal so long as you are turning away from the opposite leg. You cannot turn inwards and create inward pressure on the knee under IBJJF rules. Otherwise, that could result in a disqualification. If you create that pressure, straight up DQ, right there and then, no warning.
Right, and we see Pato now roll to the outside, now going belly down. He could get some big hip extension here. Meyham trying to maybe push with his right foot.
You know, Meyham putting his own foot on his foot like that, trying to take some pressure off, makes me think that even, yeah, there's some real pressure on that.
And again, Pato needs to keep going to the right side. The only loophole to that rule about turning to the inside is if your partner creates that movement first. So if they spin that way, you are allowed to follow, but it does get dicey because sometimes it's hard to tell who initiated the roll. But Pato insistent on going to the right side here. Still has a very tight footlock grip. Of course, you have to be careful when losing that footlock grip. You can go into a leg drag, but now he likes to start inverting instead. Scoops underneath the ankle with the lapel.
Still only one advantage on the board. No points as yet.
And this light feather division was full of killers. I mean, Meyham beat Thiago George in the semifinals to make it here.
That was one of the best matches of the day. I was lucky enough to commentate that one. Maybe you watched it from across the other side of the mat, but oh my word, Thiago is a veteran. He's extremely tough, and Meyham came out and just blew him out of the water. I didn't get to see Pato's semi-final match against Diogo Hayes. How was that?
Man, I commentated that match, and it was incredible. It was a very closely contested match. Very spicy is my favorite word. They were flying all over the place the entire time. And, man, Baby Shark had a great run. But in the end, I think Pato's experience really was able to help him edge out that win in the semifinals and lead him here to the final against Meyham.
Yeah, of course. Let's not forget that Diego Pato in the blue gi, he is the returning world champion. That this young man claimed his first IBJJF World Championship gold medal in December of last year. And he was the #1 seed coming into this bracket as a result. And here he is in the final against Meyham Makinen. And they actually fought at the World Championships in December. It was an earlier round match, and Pato was able to take that one, I believe, 6-4. But this match, so far, still 0-0, one advantage apiece, and we're past the halfway mark. And the story of this match so far has been Pato's unusual positioning in the guard and his grips. And now we may see him come up on top, and there it is, 2 points. Referee's hand goes up.
Yeah, so quite a precarious position here when you come up from 50-50 and you're still wrapped up in the lapels, because yes, you come on top for the 2, but you're obviously at risk of being swept back the exact same way, or like Meyham seems to be doing, kind of looking for some back exposure. So a lot of times when these really crafty guard players come up from 50-50, they immediately look to break out of it, kind of swimming underneath the ankle, opening that up. With the lapels tied in, it's very difficult to do that. You see Meyham using his left hand to suck the leg back in on that pant grip. A nice sleeve control on the right-hand side is going to take Pato's post away, and he starts to forward roll to avoid the sweep. But Meyham does come up and get that too, and into some immediate passing, some Toriano-style pressure.
Now, this is better because pretty much the last 6 minutes or so of this match, Meyham's had to contend with all manner of lapel control, leg entanglements, and he works best when he's got space.
Explosive, yes, he's very explosive, very exciting competitor to watch. So when you can slow him down like Pato did in the beginning of the match, you can start to put some points on the board. But when he gets his freedom back, which we're starting to see here, although there is that lasso on the right-hand side, that's when he really shines. Yeah, when he gets going, you give him the space to operate, and man, he is just... he's a firecracker. I love watching Meyham compete. Love watching Pato compete too. I mean, this is the #1 and 2 seed in this bracket. It's one of the only divisions we saw that, and most of the divisions we did not see the #1 and 2, or even sometimes even the 3 and the 4. Correct. But this is one of the only ones we did. Played out exactly as predicted. No exaggeration to say that Pato was definitely the favorite to come back and to defend that gold medal. Meyham, he had to fight his way through a pretty tough pack. It was the light featherweight division was loaded with talent. Yeah, we had Jordan Weissman in here. We had Wesley Santos, Yuto Shimada. Malachi Edmond as well dropped to Jordan Weissman before Thiago beat Jordan Weissman. And then Meyham with his incredible match with Thiago this morning. Yeah, also in there were the Lucas Pinheiro, Sebastian Serpa, the rookie, the brown belt world champion coming in. Lucas Pinheiro, yeah, there was a lot of tough talent in this light featherweight division. I feel like this light featherweight division has really had like a breath of fresh air come into it in the last year or two, and a new generation, a new wave of competitors has come in and made things really exciting, really interesting, and very competitive. I think what we're seeing here now too is Pato going back to tying up Meyham a little bit as much as he can with these lapels, which is a smart strategy on from Pato's perspective, because again, Meyham works best when he can be explosive, he can move side to side. And Pato was able to sweep him earlier and enter into some good footlock positions with those grips. And I wonder, we've still got just over a minute to work, but as it is tied on the scorecard right now, we've got 2 points apiece and one advantage. I'm wondering whether the referees will remember that footlock attack from Pato, because so far at least,
the points and advantages scored by Meyham have not been via any submission attacks.
Right. We just saw Pato undo the lapel. He kind of reached over, let go of his grips, pulled the lapel out because it was too twisted up, and replaced his grip. It was wrapped around like twice. He had to undo it.
But I suppose as a competitor, that's what you hope, isn't it? You hope that you hope that the referees remember that good attack that you had earlier when it comes to a decision, and not just the last thing they saw, which might have been a sweep or something.
Right, right. And oftentimes it does come down to the last thing they saw. So you need to make sure that the last 30 seconds of this match, both gentlemen are doing everything they can to win this light feather world championship title. And I think we will see a pretty big flurry in the last 20 seconds here to make that happen.
Yeah.
Diego was holding
Pato,
it back for a minute.
You know, it's a kind of a slim lead. You know, it's even, but referees, they can call it either way. So 10 seconds left in this match now. And in this deep entanglement, I think it's absolutely certain we're going to go to a referee's decision. Well, let's see what the officials have to say. It's a good thing I'm not a betting man, because I wouldn't want to have money riding on this one.
Oh, yes. This is a tough one. Again, two teammates, incredible match. We're going to see a best 2 out of 3 of the judges vote. And good to see some great sportsmanship between these two. This is a pretty new thing, having a lot of athletes avoiding the closeout and going into these matches. So it's great to see everybody in good spirits about it.
Wow, look at that. It is unanimous for Meyham Makinen.
Male light featherweight champion is Meyham.